Hi everybody, welcome to Philosophy 103, Summer of 2022. My name is Bryce Blankenship and I will be your instructor for this shortened 4-week class. I hope that this finds you well. I'm actually recording this on Friday the 13th, 2022, as I'm wrapping up spring semester. So we're moving and grooving and we're making things happen. I'm excited to dive into this next step with you all this summer. I'm excited to jump into it on Monday the 16th, which is just a couple of days away. A little bit about me in case you're curious. I'm originally from Kansas City, so sometimes I brand myself with Kansas City things. So this, and then you can see my Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce over there by my plant in the video. I've been teaching at the university for 10 years in various capacities. I routinely teach Philosophy 103, Introduction to Ethics. I teach Belief in Reality, which is Philosophy 240, Critical Thinking. I also teach a class called The Philosophy of Alcohol and The Philosophy in Film. So I stay pretty busy, and I love being able to engage. I love being able to focus on philosophical topics. And I also, from time to time, take a little stumble when I'm chasing my cat around my apartment, hence my mark on my forehead. So, yeah, she was very elusive when I was trying to chase her earlier this week. So, anyway, I say all that by way of breaking the ice and kind of getting the ball rolling on this summer condensed Philosophy 103 class. A little bit about the class and kind of what to expect. So you have access to the syllabi. And as you kind of look through it, again, everything might seem a little bit overwhelming at first. It might be like, oh my gosh. But it's been my experience, and I've been teaching this 103 class for many, many summers. So I'm got a pretty good groove on how this structure works. And as it relates to the course and as it relates to what the expectations are for the course, you'll find that in the syllabi. Also, as the days kind of move, as the days kind of move on here, you'll be able to catch the groove, I think, pretty easily. So a couple of things to note. First and foremost, this is my first time using Canvas as it relates to this 103 section. So I've got a little bit of a learning curve as well. I implemented Canvas in my classes this past spring semester. But this is still new to me. So if I could be shown a little bit of grace, a little bit of leeway as I kind of navigate it from my end, that would be great. And I'll do the same for you all. And I just want to say that up front. Okay? But as you'll find, and kind of how I structure the course, is that in Blackboard, if you're familiar with how Blackboard worked, I was able to sync up various folders, and inside those folders I had daily requirements. I'm not able to do the exact same thing with Canvas, and so as you'll see on Monday or today, depending on when you're watching this, excuse me, what I have tabs. Okay, so I've got my Monday tab, Tuesday tab, Wednesday tab, Thursday tab, Friday tab, and under those tabs are essentially what needs to be watched, what needs to be read, what needs to be engaged with for that particular day. Okay? And so when you kind of see all of this, again, it might be really overwhelming, but take note that that's a full week's worth of work. Okay? That as you kind of get into your daily routines, it shouldn't be overly taxing or draining. Okay? So what I want to do is I've got the syllabi pulled up on my computer here, and I'm just going to kind of work through it and just offer a little bit of supplemental information. So welcome to 103 Ethics. Essentially, kind of what some major things to think about as we start this class out is it is asynchronous, meaning that you can kind of work on it at your own time within limits. Okay, meaning that you don't need to log in every day from a specific time, point A to point B, but you do need to check in every single day for the class for the next 4 weeks, every weekday at least for the next 4 weeks. Okay, so if you're working or maybe if you're traveling, this does need to be on your list of priorities. But again, I've structured it in such a way that it shouldn't be all too daunting or consuming. Okay, And again, you can kind of check in. If you're a morning person, you check in, you complete everything that needs to be completed in the first part of the day. Maybe if you've got kind of a little bit more of a flexible schedule, you do it in the middle. Maybe you're working and you get off at night and you get home and then you start working on it. Okay, but you do need to check in with the course every day. Secondly, I'm in Moscow, Idaho, and I will be operating under the Pacific time zone. So the assignments that I post and kind of the windows of when assignments are open will reflect the Pacific time zone. Okay, so you need to account for that depending on wherever you might be in the world. And then, like I say here in the syllabi, the course is loosely asynchronous, meaning that you have daily responsibilities, but you don't have to log in at a specific time to do them each day. Material will be delivered via pre-recorded video lectures, much like this, and it's your responsibility to take notes, follow along, and retain the material from that day's particular lecture. Okay. A little bit about kind of how the course is set up in Canvas. Readings will be posted on Canvas, so there's not a textbook. You don't need any of that. If there's something that I want you all to read, I'll sync it up. Okay. There's 290 total points for the course, so you can kind of see that grade breakdown there. And the way this works, again, being a 4-week class, we kind of cram a lot into a short little window. I mean, you're doing 15 weeks worth of work to greater and lesser extents in 4 weeks. So there are going to be responsibilities that you do have to adhere to. Okay? But again, I try to be cognizant of not overwhelming as well. Okay? So there's 4 reflections. They're 20 points each. Those are about 200 words. And then there's 4 response papers. Those are about 500 words. There's 4 of those, 25 points each. Okay? There's going to be a weekly discussion thread that'll occur on Thursdays of each week. It'll be 15 points total, well, 15 points per day, so 60 points total for the course. And I'll say more about that in a video that you'll watch on Thursday of this week, depending on when you're watching this video. And then there will be a final exam in our 4th week. And you can kind of see a little bit more of the grade breakdown there. Timeline, you can kind of see how and what we're going to do. This week we'll kind of get our bearings, get our feet oriented, and then we'll talk about like the branches of philosophy, and then we'll talk about Socrates. And then the 2nd week of the course, we'll talk about Plato and Aristotle. 3rd week of the course, Hume and Kant. And 4th, we'll talk about existentialism and a thinker named Jean-Paul Sartre. Okay? So again, as you kind of start to get oriented to the class, what will happen is you'll see, and again, it might be overwhelming, but note that like that's a full week's worth of work. And especially like as you look here and like you'll be able to, I think, again, I'm still getting my bearings as it relates to Canvas. You'll be able to see like what days you have assignments, but do take note that I do put time parameters around those assignments. Okay, so I think your first real assignment is this upcoming Wednesday. Okay, what day is the 16th, 17th, 18th? That would be the 18th. Okay. And essentially that you'll have access to that assignment starting at 6 a.m. and it must be due by midnight of that same night. So that's 18 hours. Okay. Similarly, you'll be assigned a reflection paper on Friday of this week, and it's due on Sunday night or by Sunday night at midnight. So again, you can complete that on Friday. If you've got some travel and you need to complete that on Sunday or Saturday, it's just due by Sunday at midnight. Okay. And hopefully you'll have access and you'll be able to see when those assignments are due. So there are windows on when, again, things need to be completed, but the windows are pretty open. Okay, so 18 hours for my reflection papers, okay, and about 2 days for the response papers. Okay. I'm not going to open up assignments in advance. Okay? So again, part of I think the rigors of the class, the difficulties of the class is being able to orient your time effectively. And so I'm not going to, like I said, if you email me and you're like, hey, I'm traveling or I've got work, I need this to be open. I'm not going to oblige to that. Okay, so you need to kind of figure out how to work your schedule in and how to kind of make this count. Okay. Lastly, email me with any questions. Okay. Please try not to send me messages through Canvas because those often get lost, frankly. But I will be checking my email once, twice a day for the entirety of the course. So if you have an issue or a question or something that's going on or you want to elaborate on an idea, feel free to email me. Okay. Last thing to say here, and you'll kind of see this scattered throughout the course. I've been teaching this course, like I said, for a handful of years. And so I'm going to use videos that I've created for this course in particular and for courses that I've taught in the past that I've kind of updated, especially through COVID. I did a lot of video lectures, okay? And so I'll use material that might be a little bit old, or it might be, it might be a little bit old, or I might look a little different. Have, I think, a little bit more hair. That's why I'm wearing a hat. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, there are going to be some videos that on YouTube, it'll showcase that it was published back in like 2016. That's fine. The material is what counts, right? The content is what counts. There will also be videos like this that are recorded kind of in a timely, very fresh fashion, okay? So just kind of keep your eyes peeled, but I just kind of wanted to kind of make that note up front. I think that's all as it relates to this kind of welcome video. And again, if you have questions, if you have issues, please email me. I'll try my best to answer them in an expedient fashion. And again, as we kind of like get our bearings, do take note that like navigating Canvas will maybe be a little bit of a learning curve for me as well. So kind of we're all in it together here, okay? But I hope you all are well. I hope you're excited to dive into the material. I'm excited to be with you as we dive into the material and guide information, guide discussion, guide focus. And I look forward to the next 4 weeks. Cheers.